Welcome, dear students. In this session, we would focus upon the need for enrichment of the English language during the period 1500 to 1650. And the objective of the session is that by the end of the session, I hope you would be able to understand why there was a need for the enrichment of English language and what were the issues related to that. Well, my dear students, it was the year 1531. Sir Thomas Elyot published the book, The Governor. This was, in fact, the first book ever that was written in English language about education. Well, the name Governor had a logic behind that. Sir Thomas Elyot said, because the book has to do with the training of those who in the future would be occupied at court, those who would govern. That is why the title of the book was The Governor. Now in this book, my dear students, here I am showing you a text where he wrote a dedication to Henry VIII, and in this dedication, he starts with, acknowledging the powers of the king and the prince, and he says, I late considering, please also notice the spelling, this is very interesting for us. I late considering, most excellent prince, and mine only, notice the spellings again, mine only, redoubted sovereign lord. Notice the use of E by the way as well. So, with all the formalities of addressing the prince, he addresses Henry VIII, and he says that this is my duty that I owe to my natural country with my faith, and also of alliance and oath. So he says, whatever he is going to say, whatever he has written in this book, he has done so because he thinks this is his responsibility as a citizen, and this is, his duty to his lord, that is the king, and to the country. And after making this clear, he keeps on going on, and he says that the purpose of, supporting English language as he has done in this book, and as, you can read this all text where he is, talking about that it is not only his duty to the prince, but also his duty to God, and, addressing the prince to his highness, that he is writing all this book. Then he says, I have now enterprised to describe in our vulgar tongue the forum of a just public will. So, he says he has written this book. He has written it in which language? A vulgar tongue. The term vulgar here is not used in the sense of the word as it is used now. It was used in the sense the language that was not considered to be very sophisticated. And he says why he has done so, because with reference to the forum of public, because this is what suits common people and their will, which attempted is not, this not is not by the way, is not of presumption to teach any person, I myself having most need of teaching. And he says that the purpose of this book is not to teach anybody because he thinks that he himself needs a lot of teaching, but only to the intent that men which will be studious about the will public may find the thing thereto expedient compendiously written. Notice the spelling. And for as much as this present. So, he justifies why he has written the book in English language. And he says that, as much as he could, he has done that. Concluding what he says, we can say that the need for the enrichment of language was felt by certain people. There were many other people, other scholars who also felt this need, and they had a kind of conscious realization. They not only had that conscious realization, but also they tried to disseminate that idea. They tried to spread that consciousness amongst people that English needed recognition, English needed to be fixed, and English needed support so that it could be settled, as a language of England. There were various reasons why, this was happening, why there was a need that was felt for the enrichment of the language, and why there were problems and issues related to enrichment, as well as why there was a demand to sort those problems out. Because people wanted this language. However, it's very interesting that the people needed this language, masses were supporting this language, but of course they needed support. They needed the support of the upper class. They needed approval of the elite, those who were governing the country. Without their support, it was not possible. So, to tackle the problem of enrichment of language, a lot of efforts were made. A lot of scholars pointed out certain things, made endeavors, wrote certain things. However, they were also conscious of the fact that alone they could not do anything. They needed support from the upper class, the ruling class as well.